21 minutes after 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Have you ever been hypnotized, Robin?
No, people have tried, but I can't. I just say, it doesn't work.
I wonder if I've
Have
ever...
you?
Well, I mean, not in the sense like you are getting sleepy, not that one.
Oh.
But, sometimes like you go into a club, I get hypnotized.
I can imagine.
Dr. Traci Stein is a health psychologist. She's certified in clinical hypnosis. Isn't that cool? Mm-hmm. She's an award-winning author. Her book is called The Everything Guide to Integrative Pain Management, Conventional and Alternative Therapies for Managing Pain. Well, this is a serious topic, but I love the part of her bio that indicates she's a hypnotist. Dr. Traci Stein. Good morning, doctor.
Good morning. Thanks so much for having me.
You're already fascinating me just with your line of work.
I was laughing when you were talking about hypnosis. I was planning to hypnotize you on air, but...
Were you really? Could you?
No.
No. So where are you? Where are you calling from?
So I'm in New Jersey right now, and my office is in New York.
Is it easy to hypnotize New Yorkers?
They're a pretty savvy crowd. I don't know.
I'm from New York, and I one time was asking about hypnosis, and I'm telling you, this was the answer. Every time you go to Times Square, you're being hypnotized by those big signs, and I thought, really? I mean, was that the same thing?
Oh, well, it's certainly hypnotic with the flashing lights and the constant advertising, and you're probably in a heightened state of awareness, so maybe.
Ah, okay. So, like, if I'm driving down the road on the interstate or whatever, and I see a billboard for Burger King or whatever, did that just suggest to me to go get a burger, and is that sort of hypnosis?
That's such a great question. So I would say that when you're driving, you're actually in a particularly hypnotically suggestible state. The longer you're driving, that kind of daydreamy thing you get in when you're on the road, and all of a sudden 5 minutes goes by and you're like, oh my God, how did I keep the car on the road?
Right.
That's an everyday trance state. And so, I hadn't really thought about this with billboards before, but they're using multi-sensory type of imagery, like a juicy burger or appealing colors and a catchy phrase, and maybe it makes you think of the music from the commercial. And so in a way that does kind of, it kind of works on you in a little bit of a different way.
So do you use that same, that was probably a layman's way of understanding hypnosis a little bit anyway. Does that same thing apply to pain relief?
Yes, it does, actually. So, most people are hypnotically adept or hypnotically suggestible to some degree, probably more than 2/3 of people. Some people are super hypnotically suggestible. And the good news about that is that, your mind wants to find ways to reframe what's going on for you. So it does that with symbol and imagery and metaphor. And so if you were to imagine your pain as something tangible and what you would need to do to change it into something more comfortable, like often people imagine their pain as red or hot or sharp-edged. And if you would imagine something like cool water or a gentle breeze or something soothing the edges of pain and turning down the temperature, the more you do it, the more likely it is that you can learn to do that pretty quickly and turn down the volume on your pain.
And is this what you found from the people that you've documented in your book, from their stories?
Absolutely. And there's some great cases. Their identities are disguised and some are compilations, but even people with like serious burn pain or gunshot wounds, that's somebody who's dealing with high pain all the time.
Yeah.
And, sometimes our medications don't work well enough. And I've seen some pretty impressive improvements with hypnosis.
Wow. Oh, okay. So is the book, does it teach us how to do this on our own, or does it give us tips on what to ask the doctor for?
So both, actually. So there's all sorts of resources where you can see where you can find somebody who's certified in clinical hypnosis. You don't want to just go to a stage hypnotist, but you actually want to go to a clinician who's well trained in hypnosis.
Really?
But you can download inexpensively on iTunes or online hypnosis audio programs that you can listen to on your own at home. And I think there's a script or two in the book that you could use. But it definitely explains how hypnosis works and what you can do on your own.
I have a practical reason for it. Can you be my doctor for a minute? Okay.
Sure.
Wait, this is the truth. All right, so I had a leg problem 2 years ago or so, Robin, right? Mm-hmm. And so my lower legs were getting swollen, and the doctor determined it was something with the veins, and they did something with the veins, and they took them out, and basically it doesn't happen anymore. However, yeah, I know. But however, when I walk, we were in New York on Thanksgiving, and we were walking all over the place, and I started saying, oh my gosh, my legs are starting to hurt. And you know what? After a while, the pain went away. And I said, how is that possible, that I'm walking more and I have less pain? So I'm wondering if there's something I could do with what you're suggesting to not have to go through that first part. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah. And, think of your brain as, and your brain on hypnosis is like training a muscle, right? When you first start out, it takes more effort and it feels a little bit more awkward. And then after a while, you do the same exercise and you don't even notice it. It seems pretty effortless. And that's the way it is with training your brain to manage pain better hypnotically and otherwise. So if you have imagery that works for you, that's something that will get better and better and more effective for you over time. So absolutely.
Does stress and anxiety contribute to a person's physical pain?
Absolutely. And actually we know from the research that not only are anxiety and depression more common in people with pain for obvious reasons, but anxiety and depression increase the perceived intensity of pain, and they make it harder for people to cope and do the stuff that they need to feel better. So it's essential to address any issues with anxiety and depression, especially if somebody has pain.
I just went to your website, and for those who want to go there, it's drtracistein.com, Traci, by the way, Dr. Traci Stein. So you have something on the site called CAM therapies. What is that?
Okay, complementary and alternative medicine. So that's just the acronym for that. Yeah, and actually for pain and a lot of other things, a really multi-pronged approach can be most helpful. So that might be anything from acupuncture to having an anti-inflammatory diet. Actually, music is not just pleasurable, but it's actually therapeutic. So somebody's pain management program or wellness program might include music as well.
Does one gender handle pain better than the other gender?
So, it's interesting because women are much more likely to be diagnosed with a pain condition, and, there's debate about whether women's coping is better or worse. I think part of it is that women are much more likely to go see treatment. We're not quite sure, but it seems hormones might play a role in pain perception as well. But also don't forget that, even in today's modern society, women will take on multiple roles. They'll be caregivers for elderly parents, young children, they'll have jobs, they'll take care of a home, and that can really wear down your coping skills as well.
Really? Can hypnosis, I'm on your page with the audio products that you have, okay?
Okay.
And this is interesting, some of the things you offer here. What about improving your memory? Can you do that with hypnosis?
I think you can, because you can certainly, I'm not familiar with the research on hypnosis and memory, but you can certainly help people learn to let go of outside distractions and enhance their focus on something specific. And if you encode things better, you should be able to recall them better. But certainly some people in a hypnotic state may have an easier time recalling some things.
Wow. Dr. Traci Stein, what an honor to have you on our show. The website is drtracistein.com. Any other information you would like to leave the listeners with?
Basically, find me on Twitter at Dr. Traci Stein. I post a lot of information on there, and most people can do a lot to feel better.
You got a new.
So thanks for having me.
And you have a new fan. I'm going to be on your site downloading some of this stuff. Thank you, Doctor.
Please do. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. We'll be right back.
Are you looking for some spring color? Look no further than Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens in Ocala. For African violets, just